Hello, wonderful people out there in the StarCraft 2 gaming community. I'm Galaxy StarCraft. I had so much fun in the last game that I cast between these two players that I think I'll probably do all 4 games. What happened is this. I cast a game between Nani and Duckload Raw, aka White Raw, on a jungle base, and that was my last upload. And then that night, day 9, from day9.blip.tv, he happened to then talk about all 4 games in this replay pack. So if you watched day 9, then you've seen this game, but I just thought it'd be fun to cast them because I really love White Raw, and I think he I don't know, it's just kind of fun to do PvP. And I found out that this is actually Naniwa. Last game I was calling him Nani and then actually I started calling him Ani because his name is spelled N, capital A, and I, so I started calling him Ani, but it's actually Naniwa. I wasn't sure, but now I'm sure because day 9 refers to him as Naniwa, and that's who he is. Okay, now this is actually the first game in their tournament. It'll be between both players. Looks like Gateway for White Raw is going down on 13, and the same for Naniwa. So this is the first game that these players played in the ESL Cup. And if you already know how it turns out, then don't spoil it. Don't spoil it in the comments. But really, it's best of 5, and so there are 4 games. Anyway, so here we go. Naniwa is scouting White Raw. You guys see that gateway, and his probe is just going to hang out there. Actually, no, is now going to look around, see what else is going on. At this point in the game, about before the 3-minute mark, really there's not a whole lot to see. Basically what you're looking for as a Protoss is to see if your other Protoss player, if he has that second gas yet, and exactly what he's chrono boosting, if you're chrono boosting probes, or or is your opponent going to be chrono boosting this gateway, the cybernetics core. So it's good to keep a probe alive in the base and figure out what exactly he's doing. Looks like Nani's now building his first simulator right after cybernetics core, and White Raw pretty much the same. So it is identical right now. I also want to mention that I applied for a job in Korea. The GSL, they're looking for more commentators besides Tasteless and Artosis. And I thought, why not? That sounds like fun. I'd love to go to Korea. I'd love to go to the heart of where the best StarCraft players come out of. Love to go there. Love to cast and have that be my job. So I did apply. I sent them a VOD and excuse me, and a little resume. I don't expect to be chosen. I don't consider myself the most experienced or knowledgeable StarCraft 2 player out there, but I do have a lot of fun when I cast. It is a lot of fun, so I don't know. If they could just see that in me and they see I have potential, then you never know. You never know. Anyway, back to the game. Looks like 2 robo bays, 1 for each player. And yes, we're just kind of waiting for these robo bays to finish. Another gateway for White Raw, so we do have 2 gateways, and you see, look, White Raw is chrono boosting his cybernetics core, trying to get out that very fast work gate technology. So is Naniwa. And then Naniwa is pushing a little bit with 1 zealot and stalker, but a force field is going to separate them, and this zealot is going to die thanks to the stalker. And White Raw's even taking probes off the mineral line, just 5 or 6 of them, in order to kill the zealot. The force field now is disintegrated, and the stalker will try and get a couple of probes. Let's see how many kills it gets. Looks like 0, 1 kill. 1 probe goes down, but he did lose a zealot for that. But White Raw did have to spend. Looks like White Raw lost that sentry. No, there he is. Oh, there you are, Mr. Sentry. And if we go to units lost, yeah. Look at, there's unit slots. It's about even. Not really much has happened so far. Even harvesters. It's 27 harvesters for both. Colossus Bay coming out. That's the robotics bay for Naniwa. And so Naniwa is deciding to just stay on 1 base, and that's not surprising considering these positions. It's very close ground distance. So it's a little bit risky to get an expansion. or way early on. you might want to think about if you're a Protoss player in these positions against another Protoss, you might think about like going for two warp gate Robo Colossus and then expand while you push out. You can't really afford an expansion. Really, it's very expensive, but you could still kind of, I don't know, see how your push does, and I don't know, I think that expanding is good. So I think that anytime you can try and expand is a good idea. We see White Raw here is now going to be aggressive. He does have an observer out, and White Raw does not have any Colossi of his own yet. He does have an Immortal, 3 Warp Gates, 1 Robo Facility. See, this is where I see if Naniwa had expanded, it would be dangerous for him because he doesn't really have the army count. I think favors White Raw right now. And White Raw, using this observer to spot the high ground, does take off 1 Stalker, picking up the probes. Another probe almost falls. Stalkers now attacking White Raw. A force field is going to cut off these Stalkers and Immortal. It looks like those will go down. This Immortal is in danger. The Zealots are coming down the ramp, and they are blocked off. Looks like they are going into their death right now. But this Immortal is just about done. The Colossus has 2 kills, but it is being shot by these Stalkers. Observer on the high ground still helping out. Unfortunately, Naniwa does not have anything to shoot that Observer down. It actually, ooh, no, he does have looks like that Observer was taking a few hits. Looks like White Raw accidentally shot his own Observer for a few seconds. And 2 Colossus out now, 1 in critical health. Looks like White Raw is coming up the ramp, but he's being repelled. He's being very bold here, although he's losing a lot of units. Units lost, favoring Naniwa, however. If we look at the Harvester count, while this battle is going on, White Raw has taken a number of Harvesters out. This Colossus is almost dead. It's down to 17 health. 17 health Colossus. 1 Zealot from White Raw is going to be following this Colossus, trying to take it down. Even the Observer is following it around. And White Raw, with a couple of Stalkers, bravely going in to try and kamikaze themselves, taking out this Colossus. Will it work? Yes, it will. Now these Stalkers must run away because Naniwa has been able to hold. This Observer is still safe. And another Colossus out is going to push out these Stalkers. Finally, Naniwa has held, but the damage has been done. Duckload Raw, aka White Raw, aka the Beast of Protoss, has been ahead by 10 Harvesters. He is now in the lead. And I think that was a great start. 10 minutes in the game, no expansions yet. White Raw still just on 3 gateways. I don't see a Colossus den yet, as Day 9 calls it. Ooh, and this pylon does go down, but big deal. White Raw is in the lead. It is 45. Oh, it is 45 to 41 in terms of food. But oh, look, 1 Zealot still being annoying, making hell for Naniwa. But what can Naniwa do? I don't really know. It's not so much the food count that's the problem for Naniwa. It's the Harvester count. That was a kind of, in terms of units, that was apparently even, but a lot of probes went down there. White Raw is just making Immortals, and those Immortals are good against Colossi, because Colossi are armored. They do 50 damage versus armored. They're also good against Stalkers. So if you didn't know that, Immortals not so good versus light units, but actually they still are pretty good, and they have a great ability where no matter how much damage is dealt to them, as long their shields will reduce that damage down to 10. Naniwa is pushing out now to try and do some damage of his own. He knows that he's behind because of all the Harvesters he lost, and while White Raw with the Warp Prism picking up those Immortals, dropping them down. Zealots are trying to pick them off. His micros those Immortals to another place, trying to pick off the Colossus. Great move there, using the advantage of the Immortals against armored units. 1 Colossus goes down. Naniwa's attack is failing. Great micro from White Raw, using he's got to save those Immortals. They are being followed by these Zealots. The other Stalker, the other Colossus goes down by Naniwa, and Naniwa's down to just a few Zealots. White Raw trying to micro these Immortals, keeping them alive. 1 down to only 7 health, does survive, and oh my god, that was close. Look at all the units from White Raw in the orange or red. It is now units lost, now favoring White Raw. The supply is double for White Raw, and now White Raw is following up with another gateway, so he is now, you could call this a super delayed 4 warp gate push with a Warp Prism and Immortals. I like how White Raw has used this Warp Prism to pick up the Immortals and pick off the Colossus with them. And now he's going to use them to get the high ground. And it's going to be game over here from Naniwa. He's going to GG in just a second. One immortal has gone down from White Raw. However, this Colossus, yeah, so it's actually GG from Naniwa. And Naniwa says, I can't move my units. I think that they're just experiencing a lot of lag. Wow, great play from both players. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel and leave your comments. I appreciate your support. Cheerio.